Hello, good morning. It is September 8th, and Patreon and Spotify Premium subscribers will get this early, as this will drop on True Crime and Java Chat Friday, September 12th. So this will be early for both tiers, my $5 and $3 tier. I now have a $3 tier. So welcome everybody to the podcast. And if you have any suggestions, please let me know, as I'm struggling to get suggestions in. And if it's a listener suggestion, I will do them from anywhere. It doesn't have to be, a certain state or a certain area of the United States. If it is a listener suggestion, I will do them on the podcast. And if it is especially one that really needs attention right now, I will definitely do that. Okay, I'm drinking Java Mama coffee, but it is an older one. It was in the Spellbound. It was dedicated to Harry Potter, and it was kind of like that type of themed coffee. And it's an older one, but it is still very good. I'm almost out. I'm trying to use all of my coffee that I'm running out of. So whatever you're drinking, coffee, tea, whatever brew it is, or even if it's wine or beer, enjoy it and listen to this episode. Right now we have our September Mama's Picks are out. Crumb and Get It. Chaos Caramelized, which is caramelized sugar with vanilla cream. And then we have Spice to Meet You, which is all of the fall spices like cinnamon and nutmeg. And it is like fall in your mouth. Anyway, all those three are the Mama's Picks for September. They come free shipping. They have to be bought together unless it's after September. And then if there's any left over, they will sell them singles. So right now on the website, you might see the singles for August, which was the carnival type ones. The caramel corn craze, tilt-a-swirl. Those will be, I'm not sure if they're on there, but if you do go on the website, I will leave the link in the show notes. And you can look for them. Tunnel of Chocolate Love is my favorite out of those three. But once they're gone, and you can't get them anymore. So I do have the September's Mama's Picks on the way. I cannot wait. Okay, this is a story I have not heard of. It is one that I caught searching through the internet. My sources are Murder in the Heartland, the episode called Killer Creature, WRN.com, and MovieDelic.com. And it is Tracy Maurer. This takes place in Tomahawk, Wisconsin, which is a quiet town, great for boating and fishing. I love Wisconsin. Every time I've been up there, it is beautiful in the fall. When I go up to I used to go up to Door County, and I haven't been up there in years, but it is one of my favorite places in Wisconsin. Tracy was born June 22nd, 1964, in Milwaukee to parents Mary and Casey Grams. And she had one daughter, Michelle, and she was very close to Michelle. They talked every day. Now, an elderly lady who lived in an apartment called the landlady, who owned the apartment complex, told her she heard screaming and crying at 42-year-old Tracy Maurer's apartment the night of April 5th, 2007. So she asked the landlady if maybe her and her husband could go over to check it out. So the husband went over there, but there was no response at the door. Now, he heard a dog barking inside, but that was it. He called police, and this was a little after midnight. It was sometime after midnight. Police came. They found nothing. So just the dog barking, same as the landlady's husband. So police left. There was nothing they found outside the house. There was nothing broken. There was no force of entry, nothing like that they saw suspicious. I got to get a drink of my coffee. Just a second. Okay. Yum, yum. Okay. The next day, the husband goes back over there. Found blood on the outside of the screen door to Tracy's place. Now, he did not see that the first time he went over there. So the police were called again. And when they arrived, they found Tracy's body covered in blood on the living room floor with a blanket over her. Her dog Harley had also been stabbed, but he was alive. Oh my gosh, that just made me so sad. The whole thing is sad, but I'm thinking the dog probably fought for her, protected her, and that's what happened. Tracy had been stabbed about 80 times, and they figured she knew who killed her. She was described as a hoarder who bought things just to have and give as gifts. I know people like that. Nothing wrong with that. But she just had a lot of stuff for the small apartment she lived in. A friend of hers helped her father clean out her apartment after the murder, and they were talking about that on the episode of Murder in the Heartland. I myself had a lot of stuff. I got crafting supplies that I have and I can't get rid of because I think I'm going to use them for something. My husband's the same way with things he has. So Tracy had a tattoo that said "Love Hurts" shortly before she was murdered. Now, she was divorced and dated a guy named Todd Steinberg. And I think that they were, since she just got that tattooed shortly before she was murdered, the Love Hurts tattoo, they were thinking it had something to do with him or her ex-husband. Now, Todd was supposed to be with her the night she was murdered. People in the town of Tomahawk, Wisconsin, were on guard, as well as teenagers from the local high school in Rhinelander, Wisconsin. And you know how high school is. You got the gossip going, and everybody was talking like crazy that something like this would happen in that small, nice community. So, of course, many, many rumors were going around. Now, Tracy's neighbor, Randy, did not leave her house after this happened. She was so afraid to leave her house. And Tracy worked at Taco John's in Rhinelander, and some teens in the area worked with her. Lots of gossip, of course, like I said, was going around at Taco John's, and like an ex-boyfriend or her ex-husband, Mark, did it. But no evidence tied Mark to the murder, and that was her ex-husband. Todd was the only one who harassed Tracy. Also, Tracy's boss, Seth Lewis, at Taco John's, was harassing her over money that she owed him for a computer. He sold her a computer for like $300, and he hadn't gotten all of it yet. So he also had been harassing her. And this is a young, I talk about him a little while, but he's in his 20s. April 7th, 2 o'clock a.m., a 911 call came in about a woman being stabbed. Not 2 days after Tracy's murder, this happened. It was Randy, Tracy's neighbor. Her boyfriend, AJ Lopez, broke into her home and started attacking her. She called 911, but he had torn the phone cord from the wall because this was, landline. And the police got to her just in time, though. And they thought this was connected to Tracy's murder. AJ knew Tracy from a pizza place they both worked at. So now AJ Lopez is the one that they're looking at because so close in where they lived and then in time that this happened. They took him in for questioning. He denied any involvement in Tracy's murder, but police do not believe him. They took things from Randy's home to look for more evidence. Randy told them that AJ was with her that night of Tracy's murder. But get this. AJ said he was at his father's house, then went to some friend's house, who are a bunch of guys. Police found that he was not out with his friends that night when they asked these guys. He was not with them. He said he lied because he could go to jail for being at Randy's since she had a restraining order on him. Okay, now that is kind of making sense here because she said he was with her. He said he wasn't. And I was like, okay, she had a restraining order out of me. I'm not supposed to be with her. So that kind of makes sense, when they put the pieces of all that together. They questioned Seth Lewis. He was the boss at Taco John's. He told them that he and some friends stopped at Tracy's at the end of March to pick up his computer since she'd only paid him $100 so far for it. And that was the last time he saw her. The night of Tracy's murder, he was with his girlfriend, Heather Ward, who was 17. So he loved underage girls as he was in his, I think he was like 25. And he was like, that's like, she's a minor and he's going out with these high school girls and he's in his, mid-20s. But phone records of Tracy's showed that calls were deleted from Todd Steinberg. That was her the boyfriend that she had. They were deleted from her phone. There was a text saying that he was going to kill her. That was also deleted. So they think Todd took her phone and deleted these. So they thought he was the one who, he was the one who deleted them, and they brought him in to take his DNA because they thought for sure he was the top one now. And a student named Christy at the high school told the principal, actually, it really wasn't a principal. It was like a, somebody, I forgot the term of it, who's there for kind of security. It's like kind of like an officer, but not really an officer. I've never heard of this in a high school, but they might have them now. They're more frequent now in high schools. I thought it was the principal, but it wasn't. But she told her that she knew who did the murder of Tracy and where the bloody clothes and the knife was. Christy spent the night at a friend's house, and this friend, Katie Decker's boyfriend, killed Tracy. This is what she told her. They found the bloody clothes at Katie's house, and her boyfriend was about 8 years older than her. Her boyfriend was Seth Lewis. They questioned Katie as well as Seth's other girlfriend, Heather Ward. So he had another girl. He had Heather Ward and he had Katie Decker. And I'm like, wait a minute. This is very, very strange here. But Heather said she was with him that night when he went to Tracy's apartment. He had her stay in the car for 3 hours while she went inside. He was arrested on April 17th. He said Tracy was blackmailing him with threats of taking the computer to the police since she found out that Seth had stolen the computer. Now, when I first heard that she was going to go to the police, I thought there's something on this computer. He's dating, teenage girls. I thought, oh boy, but it was because she found out he actually stole that computer and then went to sell it to her. So he went over to her house to get the computer back that night. And he said he knocked. There was no answer. So he went inside to get it. She was there. And they got into a fight. And that's when he stabbed her. Police came knocking when the neighbor called that night from hearing something. And Seth just walked out the back door. So when the police came to knock on the door, when the landlord called the police, Seth went out the back door when he heard someone knocking, and it may have been the neighbor knocking. I never found out if it was the neighbor knocking or the police. He just heard a knock, and he snuck out the back door. But then, when the people were gone who was knocking, he went around back into the house, and this is how he got blood on the outside of the front door. Because when the police got there, and the landlord, they found blood the second time they were there on the outside of the door. So this explains why there was blood on the outside of her storm door. And he went back in and covered her with a blanket and left. I have no idea why he did that. I don't know. Maybe he didn't want people to see her if they looked through the window. The only thing I could think of. Now, he went back to Katie Decker's house to drop off the evidence in a black garbage bag. Seth pled guilty to Tracy's murder in October of 2008. January 14th, 2009, Seth Lewis, 25 years old, is sentenced to life with possibility of parole after he is 75 years old. While Heather Ward gets 5 years and Katie Decker is sentenced to 13 months for aiding in the cover-up. These teenagers basically all going along with this is just so strange to me, because it's like, this poor lady, you're like killing this poor lady over a computer. I mean, wow, it was a stolen computer. Okay. I don't think that is near as much of a punishment as stabbing somebody 80 times. 80 times. I was like amazed when I heard that. That's like a very, very hateful crime. And I know that there was a struggle because she found him in her house. See, and then she's like, what are you doing here? And then that's where the whole struggle happened. But oh my gosh, it's just horrible. So, Seth Lewis. Oh my gosh. So yeah, he will be 75 years old when he is, if he makes it that long. I was trying to find photos on this of the people, and I found a Heather Ward on Facebook from this area who fits the age of the same Heather Ward, but I'm not sure if it's her. She still has glasses like she did in the photo that I found of her when she was younger. But I can't place if it's her or not. The mouth looks a little different. I'm not sure if it's her, but I'm like, oh my gosh, I think I'd change my name after this. If I aided anybody in anything like this in the town and stayed in the town. And I don't know. I'm not, like I said, I'm not sure if it's her or not. I mean, the one on Facebook, it could be her married last name. I'm not sure. Even then, I'd probably change my name. They'd think I was the Heather Ward that was involved in this murder, But I just was looking for photos. And the only one that I could find was the one that they used on Murder in the Heartland. Because I like to upload the photo dumps on my Instagram and my Facebook page. True Crime and Java Chat is the Facebook page. And, wow. I had no idea teenagers were involved in this. I had no idea. I mean, Seth was 25, but this stuff just amazes me. When I heard about this story, I thought, this is, oh my gosh, I just couldn't believe the connection between her and teenagers, and then to do this. But that's the story of Tracy Maurer from Tomahawk, Wisconsin. And if you have any suggestions, please let me know. If anybody's watched the Netflix documentary Unknown Number, oh my gosh, that's one case I've not heard of. And I'm sure if anybody is listening to this, you probably know what I'm talking about the catfishing of the teenage girl. I have not heard that case before. And I was in shock. I'm like, are you kidding me? I mean, I was just floored, and it was still on my mind the next day. And it's like, some people have seen it, but not very many people I know have seen it. So I couldn't really talk about it with somebody, but this is horrible. Anyway, that is recommended. And then I watched the, Jesse, what's his name from Empire. I want to say Sutton, but I'm not sure if that's the right last name. Why am I blanking on his last name? I don't know. I watched that. That's really interesting, though, about the witnesses that they found. Not the guys he hired, but the witnesses who did say they saw a white guy that night. One witness said there was a white guy standing outside the area with rope. She could see rope in his pocket. Anyway, this could be I don't know. Let me know what you think of this if you even listen to my podcast, because in this episode, because now I'm thinking I had no idea that they had witnesses that actually saw a white guy. Like, I just thought it was the two guys he hired or that he paid. He said he paid him for something else, but the two guys are saying, no, we were hired to do this. And I don't know. It is really something to watch. So if you have not seen that one, that is even recommended. Even if you know the story, it's good to watch, especially, and the unknown number one is because it's got the police body cam on it. And speaking of body cams, I did watch the body cam footage on the Idaho 4. Very sad. Oh my gosh, it is just so sad. And 2020 just did the episode on that, which was good also. But I feel for their families. I really do. It's almost like this is happening all over again. Now that I watched the body cam footage and then the video that the woman put together on YouTube that Dateline hired her for, that's another one. When you see that video of the I say animated, but it's 3D, where it shows the actual timeline. And that's another amazing thing to see. And other than that, I don't think I have anything else to talk about. I finished Dexter. We finished Dexter Resurrection, the first season. Man, is it good. What an ending. I can't wait for the next season because I hear it's supposed to go 3 seasons. I'm so excited. But anyway, like I said in the beginning, if you have any interest, I do have a $3 tier on Patreon. And it is for 1 bonus episode per month. And you can actually go on there now and for $3 and listen to all of the bonus episodes for the last 2 years, 1 per month for the last 2 years. If you pay the $5 one, you get to listen to all of them for the last 2 years. And I have 3 bonus episodes per month for my $5 tier, sometimes 2. And that only happens if I run out of time. But there's definitely 2 a month. Most months are 3. It usually happens if time gets away from me. Something happens to where I don't make the 3 bonus episodes, but it's very rare that happens. The first one for September is up there now. I'm going to be working on the second one here pretty soon because we're a week into September already. That's amazing to me. So I hope everybody had a wonderful Labor Day. Have a wonderful fall because it's coming and I'm so excited for this weather. I love it. I love sweater weather. So I want to make sure wish everybody a wonderful fall, September, and I will be back in a couple weeks for another true crime case. Have a great one, everybody, and I will see you next time.